The average primary school head teacher now spends just 8 years in their job. An increasing number say that's because they find they just can't cope with the stress of having to deal with bigger workloads.
Well, for John Illingworth, the pressure resulted in a nervous breakdown, and he now campaigns on the issue. He's also been the subject of a BBC programme which charted his painful journey from breakdown to recovery.
I'd been a teacher for 33 years, 24 of them as a primary head. My last post was here at Bentink Primary School in Nottingham. Morning, Luke. What are you doing to that tree, eh? I've always loved being a teacher, and for 95% of my career it was a job where I really relished getting up and going in the morning. It was only in the very latter stages of it that I began to have problems with the work. It was the relentless pressure of testing, inspections and never-ending government initiatives that wore me down.
Well, John Illingworth and the psychotherapist Dr. Sheri Jacobson are here now, and a very good morning to you both.
Good morning.
So, John, you feel recovered now?
Mainly, yes. I still have some limited symptoms, but I'm just a lot better, yes.
And do you think that teachers are affected by stress more than other people?
Well, I'm sure that there are many, many occupations that are equally stressful, but my concern is there seems to be an increasing trend of teachers suffering from mental illness, suffering from depression, severe anxiety, and we know that lots more teachers are leaving the profession and citing that as the reason, or are being forced to leave through illness.
Sheri, focusing on teachers suffering more from stress, do you think as the speed of our lives seems to gather and the pressures seem to gather, that more and more of us are suffering from it in general life?
I would have to agree with that. I think we're a high-achieving culture, and a lot of emphasis is placed on success and doing very well. And accompanying that is a tendency for us to rise to it, being very perfectionistic. And it's very difficult to sustain in the long run.
And what are the warning signs to look out for then?
Well, I think we could use our mind and body as a good barometer. So looking for small changes in moods such as depression, anxiety, irritability, and then bodily factors as well. So things like changes in sleep patterns, appetite, even prolonged illness or repeated aches and pains, for example.
John, how did the stress affect you in your work? Why did you find that eventually you just couldn't carry on?
I mean, I had a lot of those symptoms that have just been described, depression and anxiety particularly. But when I really realised I couldn't carry on was when I stopped being able to do my job. I'd find myself wandering around the corridors of the school not knowing where I was going or what I was doing, and you can't really have someone running an organisation who's lost it to that extent. I couldn't relate to people and I had real problems.
We're always told, aren't we, in this kind of touchy-feely culture that we should ask for help. But did you find it impossible to do that?
I'd always, I think, perceived myself as quite a strong character. I didn't expect to have this problem, and I think I left it too late. I think had I sought help earlier, professional help, which in the end has helped my recovery, I would have done much better. Teachers and other people should do that.
But that's part of the problem, isn't it, Sheri? If people admit that they've got a problem with stress, they fear they're admitting to failure.
That's very commonplace, yes, but actually there's a great strength in asking for help as well. And I think another important factor is to be able to take observations from outsiders, friends and family. If they're pointing out that we seem stressed, overworked or withdrawn, for example, it's worth taking notes rather than becoming a bit defensive about that.
Okay, Sheri, thank you very much.
Yes, and John, thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Good to talk to you. And viewers in the East Midlands can see more of John's story in tonight's Inside Out, which goes out on BBC One at 7:30 this evening.